Welcome to the podcast, Travel Nursing and Allied Life. My guest today has been a recruiter for over 15 years, 10 of them with his current company, and has been named the Travel Recruiter of the Year for 2016 through 2019 for Health Trust Workforce Solutions. He continues to be the top travel producer for Health Trust's travel division and became a subject matter expert in their enterprise staffing system, Workforce 2.0. He's found recruiting to be a natural fit with his inherent strengths of directness and integrity. And like many recruiters again in this field, he works hard in keeping his travelers up to date on the status of their applications. If you're a travel nurse who has been on assignment with HCA in Florida, Texas, or Alaska, chances are you've spoken to him at one point or another. Welcome to the podcast, Eric Katz. Hi there, Eric.
Thank you so much. Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for the kind words, and definitely happy to be here. So thanks for this great opportunity.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Where are you calling in from today?
So I'm located now in, I actually recently just moved in a full-time remote now, but I'm in Orlando, Florida. So
Florida.
Happy to be up here. Oh yeah. Yep. Moved
Excellent.
Up from Fort Lauderdale, where our office is kind of down near the corporate office, and it's fantastic up here. I love it.
Very nice. So we have been, Health Trust has been a longtime supporter at TravCon. So we really were excited when you wanted to come aboard and talk with us. And they've been with us for several years, though it sounds like you have not been to TravCon yet. It's something that's,
No.
It's a long way to come to Vegas for sure.
Yeah, I'm not a big plane flyer, but I've been asked many times, and one of these years I definitely will make it out there. I have a lot of my clinicians that say, "How come you're not at TravCon?" I'm like, just haven't had the time to get out there, but it's sooner or later I'll get out there for sure. I know it was kind of a bummer this year; it was delayed because of the pandemic, but next year I'm sure it will be amazing, of course.
I think it will be. It's the built up demand, I think, will be pretty exciting. People understand why we had to cancel. It was something we had to do, but they're pretty excited that ability, even wearing a mask, the ability to get together and be social and see each other is pretty big. Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
So this is the Exhibitor Minute. And what we'd like to talk on the Exhibitor Minute is something that recruiters or companies might do behind the scenes that the traveler, I traveled for quite a few years, the traveler doesn't realize what's going on behind the scenes. What would you like to share with us today that you think is good for them to know?
I mean, with us, our big thing behind the scenes is our whole onboarding and credentialing process. A lot of people get frustrated because they feel like, things get asked for last minute. They come back and things get rejected, like a little frustrating. And I totally get that. As a recruiter here, I'm very, very involved, probably too over involved in that process, because again, I want to eliminate as much of that as possible for my clinicians, because it can be very frustrating. At the end of the day, like I'll wind up doing things myself just because, hey, like this person's a little frustrated, come to me. I'm happy to always get you a solution and work behind the scenes to make things happen. Overall, documents are, within our company, we're very, very strict, and even like little things that you think wouldn't matter, like like an I-9, they leave off a date or something like that, like it gets rejected. And again, people get frustrated because they're like, okay, I already submitted that, what's going on? I'll review with them and say, here's what you need to do, that way it's not over back and forth, and it just makes for a better experience, I think, from the clinician side.
And there's a lot of credentials to keep track of. I know I did ER and ICU. You have your BLS PALS, you have all your licenses, the certificates, things like that. So there's a lot to keep track of. Do you have a standard format you recommend that travelers keep with them so it makes it a little bit easier? Because it's a real pain point for the traveler to always have to do this with each company.
For us, our requirements are pretty simple, believe it or not, for the HCA facilities. Like titers are super important to have, obviously, because most of our facilities do require them. With us, the titers are good and indefinite, which is super great. I know with other clients, they do expire after 10 years. Copies of everything has to be American Heart, of course. So I haven't seen a whole lot of the, once upon a time, there was companies that said they had standards off of American Heart, and obviously we never accepted those because that's how they're kind of a little sketchy with advertising about that. But just make sure all your certs are through American Heart, of course. That's an important thing as well. For like A1 for L&D for A1, our process is that A1 is going to be good for 2 years. So just making sure you're keeping, good with that as far as being up to date. That's, like I said, with our basics. I mean, PPD, our requirement is within hire, it's 90 days. And then after that, we actually are now doing just the TB questionnaire yearly instead of having to do a yearly PPD, which is so much easier for the clinician as well, not having to go and get stuck every year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So that's very much appreciated as well.
How about a fit test? Do you have to do a fit test for the masks?
Oof, hate that word. Yes. So so up until recently we were accepting any fit tests from any time period, but now we're kind of getting back to our new normal. They are wanting to have a yearly fit test, and a lot of the times, that's probably one of the hardest items I think for a clinician to actually get on their own, because can't go to like the CVS and say, please fit test me, because that would be awesome if they did that. But
yes,
we know that's probably one of the worst items.
Now, Health Trust is a large company. You have an entire team dedicated to this, I understand.
Absolutely. For just the travel side, because we do, travel, per diem, perm, Star N, which is our new grad program. But just for travel side, for internal Health Trust, I think right now we have about 15 or 1,600 working internally. And then with our vendor partners, I believe it's like 6,000 or 7,000, right? It's a lot.
Wow.
It's crazy busy right now. More so than when it was in March, when things got a little wanky with everything when COVID started. Our business has been crazy busy.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Is it mostly ICU, ER that's picked up, or is it across the board?
Across the board, everything's been NICU has probably still been the one that's kind of a little bit slower, but NICU has always kind of trended on its own course as far as being busy or not. But overall, we've had tremendous uptick in our business, and we're starting to see the rates start to actually lower a while again. But right now we're seeing some rapid response come up in Virginia and Tennessee, which actually we just posted today, and then some of our South Carolina hospitals as well. So the market's very, very strange right now. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, so it's very hard to predict everything right now.
I think NICU is planning on 8 months from the start of lockdown, pretty much. So that would put it at November. NICU should start to really explode. And so it should be very busy for NICU from then on. That sounds like you cover a lot of different certifications. The one that I wanted to bring up also is that we are super excited that Health Trust is bringing CPI to TravCon next year.
I heard a little bit about that. That's fantastic. Yeah,
it's huge.
Great idea.
And for those who don't know what CPI is a nonviolent crisis intervention class that's always been required every year for ER and psych specialties. But more and more, they're requiring it for all specialties, everybody in the hospital, because family members, patients can get aggressive, can get a little over the top, and injuries for healthcare workers in general are going up. So more and more, we're starting to see a requirement for everybody requiring this class, this CPI class. And there's only one company in the country with multiple branches that is qualified with this blue card. So we were tickled to hear that Health Trust had gotten the qualification to train instructors and provide it on their own. So rather than an incredibly expensive class, they charge over $1,000.
It's ridiculous. The pricing on it is awful. Huge. And they don't have the classes that often either. It's very okay, if you're in the right place at the right time, then you can take the CPI class.
It's so hard to find. So we're really excited. On top of the ACLS, BLS, PALS, A1 that we offer at, not PALS, but ACLS, BLS, PALS, A1, and Stable that we offer at TravCon, we're now going to be able to add CPI on top of that. So that's really cool. Awesome. They're able to do it in a one-day class at a super reasonable cost because you're using your own instructors. And we'll be able to give them the blue card, which is like this unicorn. It's a really hard thing to find on your own. So we're very excited that Health Trust is able to do that for us. It's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Do you have a tip for travelers that would help them through this sea, either through the sea of credentialing or just through the sea of trying to get to the position that they want to get to? I always like to ask recruiters if they have something that sticks out for them. Hey, I always find that this is what would really help me get the traveler the position that they want.
I mean, I would say just make sure. So our hospitals look for with an HCA, not necessarily our external clients. Our hospitals look for three basic things, and pretty much the job is going to be yours coming through our facilities. They're looking for previous HCA experience, Meditech experience, and then previous travel. Just because you don't have all of them doesn't mean you're going to be disqualified, but those three things are very important to our facilities for sure. So that's going to put you at the top of the pile 100%. Coming through us directly, of course, that's going to, our hospitals want to take the health trust clinicians directly. So obviously I would encourage, to come through health trust directly. But obviously we do support our vendor partners as well. So it's part of, the volume that we have. We can't do it all by ourselves with our team. So I think frustration comes in with the credentialing part. So like if you are through a third party, we do provide to all of our vendor partners, it's called the facility checklist. Every single one of our hospitals has little items listed on a checklist that says exactly what they need. So a lot of them, say, well, we didn't tell me this, you didn't tell me that. Like the checklists are there. So as a clinician, you can say, hey, can I get a copy of the facility checklist? Because again, if you're feeling frustrated with your third party company, you can say, oh, okay, this is exactly what I need. So that way you're not going back and forth, and you can be like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, this will make things a lot easier for me for getting credentialed through, the third party through Health Trust.
That's really cool. I didn't know you could actually ask for the facility checklist.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's nothing. It doesn't have bill rates or anything like that. This is just literally
just the requirements.
Of what the facility requires. Yeah, so like you can ask, the company provide it because they have, we give them. They have a full site where they can access that, and it's given to them, for every facility that we have. So I mean, it makes things definitely very, very easy.
And I remember when I took an assignment in Florida, I had to do the PBDS test. How often do you come across that?
So from HCA clients, we had it in Colorado and Texas, and we eliminated that. Gosh, I would say almost 5 years ago. One of the clients that we managed externally was Lee Health out in Fort Myers. They were one of the last ones that I've heard of that we managed that still did PBDS, but last year they actually got rid of that as well, and they now do a newer program where they actually do remediation and whatnot. I can't think of the name of it, to be honest, because I don't have anybody currently there, but don't see any of that, at least with our facilities anymore.
Good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that the testing was awful. And then for like Franciscan Health in Washington, which we managed as well, they had it years ago and all gone. So, I mean, it seems like hospitals realized that really wasn't the best tool to, bring people on. It
was super stressful. I mean,
yep.
You pass it, but you get to your assignment. You've already done your move. You've passed everything. You're ready to go. And then you get told, if you don't pass this exam, canceled. You're canceled. You're done. You're out of there. And you only get one shot at it. So that was super stressful. Good to see it's on the way out.
Yeah, I avoided those facilities like the plague. I was like, it's not worth it. Like, to have to start over. And some people just aren't, amazing test takers like that.
Exactly.
And to me, everybody always said, well, it's very subjective, the test. So I'm like, how can you study for something like that? Like it's, someone's opinions. Like
you can't study for it. You can't study for it. And many times it's just the verbiage. You're, as a nurse, you tend to think 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. And because this is a nursing test, and they're just looking for step 1, or they're just looking for, something really basic stuff. So sometimes you overthink it.
Yep.
So really happy to see that go on the way out. That's great. But there's still some facilities that use it, and that would show up on the facility checklist, would it?
That we manage, no, none of the facilities that we manage. Again, outside of clients that we don't, manage, I'm sure it probably exists out there, but nothing that we currently have our toe in has PBDS testing at all anymore. So.
Yay!
I know, right?
Super excited. I was just wondering what you see as the forecast for the coming year. It's really exciting that things have picked up. Do you foresee a very busy winter?
Yeah, so right now we have most of our seasonal needs posted, or if not starting to post again. Volume right now, we're still working on tomorrow. So we do have a lot of our seasonal needs posted for January and February. And the hospitals, like with our heightened rates that we have right now, a lot of the hospitals are continuing those for those seasonal needs, which is cool because we weren't sure if that was going to happen or not. So far we're looking pretty good because, that was the kind of, back of the mind. Okay, if I secure this position now at the regular rate, what's going to happen down the road if the rate goes up? So, everybody has more of a peace of mind if they're getting secured at the high rate right now. It's locked in. It's better for all parties, and the hospitals know, hey, we're getting somebody. So right. That's a nice bonus that's going on right now.
And just to clarify for the listeners, this is being recorded in mid-October, but it won't be aired until December. Early December. So just to give them a sense, things might change by the time this airs.
Yeah.
But
that's
certainly,
the world we live in.
Yes,
things change.
It's very fast changing. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for everything that you've added in for us. Really appreciate that a sort of inside glimpse into it. We wish you the best, and they know to look for Eric Katz or any of the Health Trust recruiters. They're a great team.
Absolutely. Happy to talk to anybody who has questions. And of course, I do post on the Gypsy Nurse website quite often. So we are a supporter of them as well. So our job postings are on there, and, definitely reach out to me. I'm happy to assist anybody if I can. And,
fantastic.
Any questions, I'm here.
And look for Health Trust at at TravCon 2021 because they will be there, and they also will be hosting the CPI class, which is awesome. So you'll be able to plan for a CPI class in September next year.
Yes, our leadership team, Joy and Crockett and Sylvia Sweezy, they're the ones who go out to TravCon every year, and they always bring good stuff. I've heard from them. They're like, yeah, let's go see what the Health Trust booth has for the giveaways. So I'm sure they won't disappoint, as they never do out there. So that's kind of the thing that they'd love to do over there. So we'll have some good stuff for giveaways for sure.
And it's really cool. I see posts every now and then for nurses going, I'm still using pens, or for this year, they're like, I'm running out of pens. But, they really enjoy the creativity that the people, the sponsors bring to the booths. They love the creative offerings. It's very cool. Well, thank you so much, and take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good one and good luck.
Thanks for listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life. You can find the full show notes below or at travcon.org. Please help us out by rating our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a comment below or email us at podcast@travcon.org.